Good morning, children. In our last class, we have discussed about the anti-poverty measures. Anti-poverty measures taken by the government of India to to tackle the problem of poverty in India. In our last class, we have discussed that anti-poverty strategy of the government can be broadly divided into two different types. One was the first one is the promotion of economic growth, and the second one is the targeted anti-poverty programs. Now, in the first types, that is promotion of the economic growth, here government started working for the building of infrastructures, setting up of industries, improvement in the agricultural field, etc. Like immediately after the first general election, that is 1950, after independence, 1951, first 5-year plan was started by the government, and the first 5-year plan was especially targeted for the development in the field of agriculture. And after that, 1956, second 5-year plan, this time government concentrated in the development of industrial sector. So the development in the field of agriculture and industrial sector is definitely going to boost up the economic condition of India. Economic improvement is definitely going to be taken place. It was the expectation of the government, and with the expansion of agricultural activity, more and more people will get job there. At the same time, with the expansion of industries and industrial sector, job opportunities or employment opportunities will be generated, and more people will get the job. With the increase in employment, we could expect that and government was also expecting that the economic condition of the people will improve, and that definitely will have a positive response or positive impact towards the alleviation of poverty in India, right? But although government also encouraged the spread of education also, children, more and more children were now sent to the schools. Government prefer that education system to be made as universal as possible. But these program, this first plank, that is promotion of economic growth, did not give the expected outcomes. Like there was some problem, like growth in the field of agriculture and industry also was not up to that level which was expected by the government. It was not it was much below the expectations from the government. And secondly, there was another reason that as agricultural sector did not develop as expected, as well as industrial sector also did not develop as expected. More and more poor people, like with the increase in the industries and agriculture, government have expected that more employment will be generated, but that employment remain limited for limited groups of people only, especially the people who were actually poor. They could not enjoy this employment opportunity which is generated as a result of industrial development. So in such a situation, government have to start the second part of the poverty alleviation measure, that is targeted anti-poverty programs. So in this targeted anti-poverty programs, government have launched many schemes and projects, especially targeted with some targeted to the certain categories of the people in the country. So in this targeted anti-poverty programs, there are around 5 or 6 special programs launched by the government with target audience, or with the target people which are actually to be included in this type of the programs. First among them was the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, also called NREGA, of 2005. Later on, this act is amended. Now it is known as MG Narega, or Mahatma Gandhi NREGA, National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Now, this act was passed in the month of September 2005, and in the very first stage of this implementation of this act, the government have targeted around 200 districts throughout the country. Okay, first phase mein government have targeted that in 200 targeted districts of the country, this NREGA will be implemented, and through this NREGA, government have ensured that minimum 100 days of employment to the to at least one member of a family in these 200 targeted districts. Okay, here this Narega have two important aspects. This act have two important aspects. One is to provide minimum guaranteed 100 days employment to the people, and secondly, through this employment generated scheme, government is also working for the development of the region or development of the particular area. Like through an NREGA, government was building the connected roads, small dams, check dams and all. Okay, digging of the pond, or whatever developmental activities to be done in a particular area, government tried to do those activities through this Narega. And the main main target or main reason is to provide minimum 100 days of employment to the people. Okay, now in this in order to run this particular scheme, the central government, okay fine, in the first phase I said 200 district, and in second phase government tried to expand it to the 600 districts. Okay, our government have actually later on extended this the purview of this act to the 600 district of our country. Now the central government will also establish national employment guarantee funds. Similarly, state government will establish state employment guarantee fund for implementation of the scheme. Under the program, if an applicant is not provided employment within 15 days, he or she will be entitled to a daily employment allowance. Now here, one thing is guaranteed here is that if a person need the job, he or she has to apply, and if he or she has applied and within 15 days if the job is not being provided to him or her, in such a situation government is bound to give the unemployment allowance to the the one who have applied for the job. Okay, this is about NREGA. Second program which in launched, or scheme which is launched by the government, was National Food for Work Program, NFWP, which was launched in 2004 in 150 most backward district of the country. The program is open to all rural people who are in need of wage employment and desire to do manual unskilled work. It is implemented as a 100% centrally sponsored scheme, and food grains are provided free of cost to the states. Once the Narega is in force, the NFWP will be subsumed within this program. So, National Food for Work Program is the program which was implemented in 150 districts of the country, okay, backward district of the country, where here the work will be provided. The people will work. People have to do the unskilled manual work. Those are for the unskilled laborer. They will do the unskilled manual work, and in lieu of work, food grains will be provided to them. Instead of salary, food grains will be provided to them. And this scheme was completely central sponsored scheme, where the food grains and all are provided by the central government to the state government to distribute among those people who are working under this National Food for Work programs. But once Narega is implemented in that particular district, this program will be subsumed or will be submerged within this Narega. Third one is Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana, PMRY. In another scheme which was started in 1993, the aim of the program is to create self-employment opportunities for educated, unemployed youth in rural area and small towns. So in order to provide jobs to the educated, unemployed, the one who is educated but is not getting any job and have not got any job, for them this Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana was being created. Through this scheme, the fund will be given, or the loans or money will be provided for those people, those educated unemployed people who will start up their own self-employment ventures. Okay, they are helped in setting up small business and industries. Next is Rural Employment Generation Program, REGP, which was launched in 1995. The aim of the program is to create self-employment opportunities in rural area and small towns. A target of creating 25 lakh new jobs has been set for this program under the 10th 5-year plan. Okay, so another one was the Rural Employment Generation Program, which is started in 1995, and through this program government has targeted to create around 25 lakh new jobs to the people. Okay, next one is the Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarojgar Yojana, SGSY, which was launched in 1999. And the program was aimed at bringing the assisted poor families above the poverty line by organizing them into self-help groups through a mix of bank credit and government subsidy. So through this Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarojgar Yojana, SSGs are being created, self-help groups are being created, and that self-help groups were being provided with the fund through the bank, and for that fund or that loan the government has given the subsidies, so that these the self-help group will take loan from the government in subsidized rate, and they will use this money to set up some self-employment generation things, like opening up the shops, like opening up some dairy farming and all. This type of the things can be done through this one. Okay, through this Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarojgar Yojana. Next one is Pradhan Mantri Gramodaya Yojana, which was launched in the year 2000. It was additional central assistance to given to the state for basic such services such as primary health, primary education, rural shelter, rural drinking water, and rural electrification. So through this Pradhan Mantri Gramodaya Yojana, central government provide assistance to the state governments to provide the basic amenities to the people, like primary schools, primary health, rural shelter system, rural drinking water, rural electrifications, etc. For that, whatever the money is being required, central government will provide assistance to the state government. And the last among these was the AAY, Antyodaya Anna Yojana, which was the scheme which was launched by the government to a targeted poor people, through which the government will provide a ration to a targeted group in a very very low price, like one for 1 kg of rice they only have to pay ₹1. Okay, so this is called Antyodaya Anna Yojana. These are some of the poverty alleviation measures adopted by the government to decrease the number of the percentage of the poor people in a country, or to remove the condition of poverty from India. Thank you, children.